Hello everyone. In this video, let us try to understand the given task. So in the task, an article was given which speaks about certain analytical process where data analysis is conducted and some kind of results were presented in the document. So after reading the document, you are supposed to explain whether the data that is used in the document can be skewed or not. Skewing कर सकते हैं क्या उस data को, like that thing should be addressed. So first, to address this document, let us start understanding what is the concept of skewing. Skewing means changing the data, modifying the available data. So जो data हम use करते हैं analysis के लिए, उसको change करने का एक तरीका को हम skewing कहते हैं. Attackers, what they do is they attack input data. Whatever the inputs we are getting, the data will be attacked and transformed, modified into some a situation like whole values will be one side. If you take a graph, if you take a graph like, now let us see this image. So for example, if you have a column which speaks about whether I'm asking you a question whether you like Modi or not. Okay, few people say yes, few people might say no. Okay, so it contains all the values. It has some s and it also has some no's. So this is a normal graph. When we take a normal data, it contains of mixed information. Okay, so what we call a skewed data. A skewed data is something which contains only one-sided information, very biased information. So we have actually the input data is like this, but by using the attack, what we do is we make either all positive, means we make all S, everybody likes Modi, or we make all negatives, which means that most of the people don't like Modi. In that way, we can skew the data. Okay, this is what we call skewing data. So because of that, what happens? The input data will be modified, and modified data, if we use for analysis to say whether Modi is a popular leader or not, if the data is skewed, it will result in incorrect answers. So as I have attacked on your data and I skewed it to make it all S, then your decision will be like, yes, Modi is one of the most popular leader. Okay, so if I skew it to the complete negative, what happens? Your analysis explains that Modi is not a popular leader. So these two results, when we have these two types of biased information, the results will be completely different when they are compared with original normal data. Okay, this is what we call skewing. Okay, I will be sharing this link in my video description. You just cross check this video. I will share it in under this video in description. You can find the link. Use that link to read this content. What is meant by data skewing? Data skewing is something where attackers modify analytics data. So usually the training data set will be there. That data set will be modified. So let us understand how a decision will change when we modify data. Usually, a training dataset will contain a certain independent variables based on which a decision variable is decided. For example, if we have observed for 5 6 days, we have observed here we have 12 days. For 12 days, we have observed that when it is cloudy, it rains. When it is not cloudy, it do not rain. Okay, this is the training data set. Based on this data, we observe the climatic situation outside and we decide whether it is going to rain or not. So what we observed, this is what we call training data. Every day for last 4 5 days, we have observed 12 times that whenever it is cloudy outside, it rains, and whenever it is not cloudy, it do not rain. So when we use this training data and we have a situation that it is cloudy outside, it is very easy for us to make a decision that it rains. So this will be your result. Now let us change this data completely negative. I'm skewing this data to completely negative. So now what will be a situation? Is that cloudy outside? Every time it is no, but most of the times it got rained. Okay, there is nothing that is a positive here. So whether it is, if it is cloudy, whether it rains or not, to make a decision it is difficult. However, when it is cloudy outside, you can say there will be no rain. So your answer is completely changed now. Actually, when you use original data, there is a possibility that you make appropriate decisions. When we make good decisions, it helps us. When we have a correct data, it helps us to make good, better strategic decisions, which help organization to be realistic and accurate. Situations are handled properly. Okay, so this is how it impacts when we have skewed data. When we perform skewing on the available data, this is how it happens. Now let us identify the data collection approaches that are used in the process. We see that there are five different approaches that are used here. Okay, so evolution methodology. In the evolution methodology, we have five different approaches that are used here, which are used to collect data related to the social action 2.0 software. And you can speak about different approaches that are used. You can write about these methods and what they done using these methods without plagiarizing the content. Okay. Next, what they done is there are different case studies that they applied by them, and at each case study they collected some sort of data and applied research approaches. You can see all the different approaches. At each stage of approach, we can find that data is collected and stored in some sort of application tools, and it is possible that skewing can be done on the input data. However, after creating clusters, it is not possible to perform skewing of the input data, because even if one cluster got attacked, remaining all clusters perform without any skewness. We don't see any skewness in all other forms of data. So, however, better you stick to some situation like there is a possibility of conducting skewness attacks, because there are some form of data collection approaches that use um online approaches to collect data and store data. So when we collect data, there is a possibility to perform this kind of attacks: web analytics, analytical skewing attack, and we can also perform data skewing attacks. Okay, so you can see these kind of attacks can be performed when some data is stored on websites, or when we use some kind of online applications to collect and store the data. So I recommend you to, after reviewing this one, like the structure of your 450 word briefing should be like: you start explaining what was detailed in the document, and then you speak about different types of approaches that are used in the um method to collect data about social action 2.0. You briefly explain these 5 points. So till that you are supposed to cover 200 words. Then you start briefing about what is meant by skewing using this article, the article that will be shared to you using this article, and explain that as this in this process of collecting data, there is a possibility social action 2.0 mostly relies on website kind of structure. So it will be data will be stored on some kind of data servers. So there is a possibility of happening of a web analytics skewing attack. Okay, this kind of skewing attack can be happen. So you write what is meant by web analytics skewing and what are its consequences. Now the second part speaks about what kind of attack can be happen? It is a web skewing attack can be happen. Why you think so? Because the organization is using the application structure is a kind of website. So there is a possibility that data collected on the data servers are vulnerable to web analytics skewing. Then you start explaining what is web analytics skewing and what kind of consequences can be experienced by the application because of web analytics skewing. Okay, this is all about your report. I hope you understood and I hope you give best and according to the requirement. Thank you.